Like, that's how dangerous this project was.
Yeah, it was.
And I mean, obviously, one wrong move, we would have been dead. We wouldn't be here right now. But I know that that wouldn't have happened because God is always watching out for us. And that's another guardian angel. Great. I love when people are so close to their guardian angels. It's so cool. And I wish I was a little closer to mine, but I feel like if I was closer to mine, Mom would slap me.
911, what's your emergency?
Hi, my name is Gabe Jurgel, and this is how I found my guardian angel. Monday, February 3rd. Seemed like a normal day to me, honestly. I got up in the morning. I knew I had to work at noon, so I got up, went for a walk, I said my rosary, like usual, and I went on Instagram, and then went on YouTube, and I found a video by a YouTuber named Oma, a predator catcher who I love watching. Turns out he had a brain tumor, or a tumor in his head causing his throat to be messed up and whatnot. So anyway, a huge deal. A tumor is a huge deal. So I thought to myself, you know what? I'm gonna say my rosary again today for him, just so he has a little bit extra prayer going out for him, so he'll be okay. Anyway, I go to work. All's a normal day, nothing special, kind of quiet, honestly. Not really a whole lot happened. The fact it's a Monday means that our shipment comes in. So our cigarettes, our chew, sometimes our vape, and some cigars and whatnot. So, time to put that away. Of course, every time I go to put something away, a car shows up and someone comes in and I can't put my stock away. So I deal with everyone, and then finally I get time to myself to put the stock away. I start putting away all the cigarettes and all the chew. I gotta go through, mark down what's there, and then put it in its designated area. While I was putting away the chew, I heard a noise from outside. It was a very loud bang. And my first reaction was to look up at the cameras. And it was a split second of me looking at these 9 cameras on my screen and going, no, I can't find what I'm looking for. So I walk over to the window to go see if I can find what's outside with the window. And I found nothing again for the split 2 seconds I was looking out the window. So I turn around, I start walking back around the counter so I can go outside. The second I started walking, the second I turned around to go walk forward, I heard a bang. The whole building shook. Cigarettes fell off the wall. One of the ceiling tiles fell off. Dust flies everywhere. The building just got hit by a car. I looked up at the cameras. I noticed a car had hit the ice machines and was slowly moving forward. My first thought was, oh my gosh, is this kid ramming into the building? So, per my training, I shut the pumps off and I shut all the power off. That way, if anything happens, nothing catches on fire. I pick up my phone, I call 911. I tell them my location, I tell them what happened, and I tell them to bring police, fire, and ambulance. I go outside to check on this kid who just got hit. He was pretty banged up. The car was really smashed up too. There was blood dripping down his face, and he was not moving. I looked off in the distance, and I saw a semi-truck sitting on the sidewalk.
So this semi, and you got a car over there in the Citgo gas station parking lot.
So, for deductive reasoning, I found out that the semi had T-boned him. and the semi went off the street onto the sidewalk, sending the car across the highway over our curb into the side of our building. After that happened, I went back inside to make sure that everything was okay. So far, some stuff fell over, but nothing else seemed really out of the ordinary. I got back outside and I looked at the wall, and I really took time to take in what was happening. I looked at the wall and realized the wall is bowed in really bad. I mean, really bad. The ice machines were crushed. They had over 200 pounds of ice in them, and they were crushed. I went back inside the store just to make sure nothing was on fire and make sure I knew where the fire extinguisher was just in case I needed it. And I looked at the wall that I was at, and the wall was bowed inwards. It was buckled really far inward. I looked at the wall, and the cigarettes were falling off, and it was really bad. I started talking to the firemen. They came in to make sure I was okay. They were inspecting everything, making sure nothing was on fire, making sure everything was safe. They ended up having the building inspector come by. Building inspector looked everything up and down, and he said, okay, this place is okay. I'm not going to force you to shut down, but I would recommend getting it looked at by someone else. Now, while all this is going on, what's going through my head is I got to call the owner and let them know that a car just hit their building. I called both the owners 3 times each. No luck. I called my coworker twice. Nothing. I'm on my own. Keep in mind, at this time, people are still coming into the store just because they want to see what's going on. I had to tell everyone to get out because the registers are down, the pumps are down, nothing can be purchased or anything really. I shut all the power off to the building. That way, you know, if they hit any electrical lines or something, they wouldn't short and catch on fire. So I kicked everyone out of the store and I locked the door. During all this, I kind of forgot to tell people I was okay because you know how it is. Once something happens, everyone on Facebook is going to be on there giving their side of the story, how they saw it and what they think actually happened when they have no idea what really happened. So I thought to myself, I should call my family and tell them I'm okay. So I called my dad. I said, hey Dad, this just happened. I'm okay. In case you see it on the news, I'm unhurt. Nothing hit me. I'm just shook up. I called my mom, told her the same thing, and then I called my girlfriend to tell her the same thing too. My girlfriend was working, unfortunately, so she didn't even pick up the phone. I just left her voicemail. That way, in case she picked up her phone and saw the news, she wouldn't be worried about me. The fireman asked if I could show them the wall again, just to make sure everything was okay. So I brought them back inside, and they inspected everything, just wanted to make sure that the building wasn't going to collapse. They checked me out to make sure I was okay, and at that moment, I noticed someone was walking into the store, and I was about to tell them that we're closed right now and to come back later, but I realized it was my dad. My dad had pushed his way through all the firemen and police to come over to make sure I was okay. Now, my dad is a paramedic for Plainfield, so not his first time seeing something like this. He just wanted to come in to make sure I was okay. I told him I was fine, told him everything that happened, and then I'm just shook up, so no big deal. So he says, okay, he gives me a hug just to make sure I'm okay, and then he leaves the scene. About 10 minutes go by after this, and I finally see the owners. They pull up, and my first thought is they're going to be pretty mad that this just happened. But fortunately, to my surprise, they weren't that mad about it. They were just glad that I was okay. They came in, they inspected the damage, they talked to the firemen and the police, they talked to me. They very generously said I could take the day off if I needed to. I told them no, I'm okay. Nothing hit me, nothing hurt me. I'm all good. There was something about this experience that really spoke to me. And what really spoke to me is that this happened right as I finished my rosary. And I mean right after I finished my rosary. I was saying my rosary while putting away my stock, and once I ended my rosary, I went back to the counter to go do some stuff, and then that's when I heard the crash. Nothing hit me. Nothing hurt me. That was a miracle, because as I walked back through the wall, the car hit on the exact opposite side of where I was standing, and it didn't hurt me. Another thing that really just amazed me is literally the day before, I was writing in my journal and I was saying how I wish I was closer to my guardian angel. I think that was my guardian angel's way of saying, hey, I'm here. I'm ready to get closer to you. And that was one heck of an entrance right there. Not very long after this happened, we started having our first snowfall of 2025. And, you know, it was a decent amount of snow, not as much as I really wanted to, but just enough for everyone to put their snow plows on and pretend like they're actually making a difference while plowing the snow. A friend of the owners came up and said, hey, I'm going to be plowing their driveway and the lot, just so you know. I said, all right, no big deal. I didn't realize how bad that car had scarred me, because as he was plowing, every time his plow slammed on the ground and started moving and scraping against the ground, I jumped to look at the cameras. I jumped to look at the wall. I moved away thinking that the car was there again to hit the building. And it's something I struggled with for a while. For a long time, honestly. But every time I felt nervous or anxious about it, what I did is I pulled out my rosary and I prayed. Now, it didn't really make my fear go away instantly, but it made it a lot better. And to this day, it's still kinda bothers me when I hear a loud noise, but not nearly as bad. The last time I felt scared like that was when a semi took off really, really loudly when the door was open. The exhaust shook the building. It was so loud. So, startled me a little bit, not gonna lie. So that is the story on how I started getting a closer relationship with my guardian angel. A guardian angel is someone who's there for you, whether you know it or not. Is always there for you, to save you. Even when you don't realize it. That near-death experience, or not even a near-death experience, just when you miss stubbing your toe, when you think, oh, that could have hurt, you know? That was your guardian angel there. And I encourage you to pray for your guardian angel to keep you safe and to keep others safe as well. I pray for other people's guardian angels to watch over them and make sure that they're doing okay. There's gonna be a lot of people wondering what's on my story, and I should probably tell you while it's still fresh in my head. Sorry, I'm a little shaken up from this. I was standing at my register, doing whatever. I think I was just getting ready to put stuff away or whatever I was doing. And I heard a bang outside, and then immediately heard tires screeching. So the first thing I did was I hop up to my cameras to look. I didn't see anything for about half a second, so I looked out the window, and all of a sudden, I felt the whole building shake. A car tried to cut off a semi, got pit maneuvered, and it threw the car across the highway, or across the main road 47, over a curb, through our parking lot, and smashed into our building. It thankfully did not take the wall down, but you can kind of see it definitely knocked a couple things down, and then you can really see how the wall is bowing now. I had the building inspector come out. He did say that it was so far structurally fine. I just think the best part about this is I had just gotten done saying my rosary. So, said my rosary, and thank God I was standing right here. And I heard the noise. I looked up to that camera right there, and actually you can see the tow truck's taking the car away right now. The car hit the wall right here. Right here is where the car hit. So my guardian angel and God were protecting me right there, keeping me safe. So I ran outside. I saw that car was all smashed up. I saw a semi in the grass on the other side of the highway over there. And I immediately called the police. I got fire and ambulance out here. I killed the power to the pump, so the pumps and the computers are all off, because if there's a fire, I don't want it to ignite the pumps. So my training definitely kicked in real good there, because I have been trained to do stuff in this scenario. But I'm just glad that I reacted the way I should have. You never actually know what's going to happen in that situation, and I'm glad that I reacted in the correct way.